Good morning, Professor Mori, friends, colleagues, and distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great honor for me to speak first because, as everyone said, that I won't be in between the end of session and your lunch, so I'm sure that I won't overrun the time limit. Actually, I have to say that I have been here, or before that, I have to thank Kyoto team for putting the effort and energy to organizing this event. And the next thing I'm going to say is that I've been to this event for the past 3 times, and I've seen the development of what we're trying to do here. And in fact, actually, we try to solve this challenge of getting more mobility anywhere around in the Asian regions and Southeast Asia. And the first one, we talk about the role of international office. So I think everyone went back and realized that international office is very important to get this working, as like the president said. And then the next one was that the challenges of mobility, because we all find that it's very difficult to get students to go out. In the same time, it's also very difficult somehow for us in the region to get our students to actually mobile between Asian countries. I think it's because of the language, and that's what we said, why we should have the English program and so on. And then today, I think we're going to be talking about the recent progress and future initiative that will overcome these challenges. In my talk, I'm just going to raise some point about the past experience of my university, which is Chulalongkorn University, how we actually, right now, I wouldn't say it's completely successful because we're in a process of overcoming the challenges that everyone is having. But I think the past experience would be useful for everyone to know how it was done and how it proceeded. But I think the key element to any success in the mobility amongst us universities is that we have to realize that 3 years of this event is not that long at all, considering internationalization process takes a long time in every university. Our international programs and English program has been done since 1980s, and so far, to my expectation, is not up to that standard as yet, because we're not getting enough mobility. I'll show you later on. But also, the important thing is that to get everything going is that the international relation between university, this can take forever. I think you have to keep on going and doing all the same thing all the time, and have a commitment amongst university to get this working. Okay, so just to the overview of Chulalongkorn University. Everyone knows, I wouldn't say this for again, but we try to be obviously the source of higher learning education for the country, produce intellectual leaders in sustainable development. This established 1917 by King Rama VI and Rama V. This is history. So right now, the university is approaching its 100th year of establishment. And we're having a vision of becoming a world-class university, and that says a lot of things. People said it's world-class, but for us, national university is very important because the demands, actually this is one of the problems. The demands of the local student is already high. We're attracting like top 5 percentile of the top students in Thailand. And that means something. It means that there's a lot of university outside who would like to attract our students to go and study abroad. And on the other hand, it's very difficult for us to actually attracting international students or increasing the number of international students into our university because we're remaining as a national university, the top national university. So what happened? To become world-class, you need to be worldwide recognized. So also be a university that can accommodate anyone in the world. So we started to look at the international program, so to speak, the program that are taught in English. This is different. If you go to America, you go to England, they don't need to worry about this. They're already international. They speak English, but we don't. So the same here in Thailand, in Japan, in China, in Korea. We have our language. But now, if we want to become world-class, how do we do it? One of the solutions is actually to look at the international programs. Now, we started that in 1995. That's actually been done through a process that actually it's been done long before that. Because to have an international program, you need a lecturer who can speak English. If it's a national, Thai national to speak English, then the government has already started this a long time ago. In 1960, 1970, they sent people with scholarship to go abroad in America and United States to get graduation from there, the top student, and come back and become lecturer. So right now, 20 years on, 30 years on, we have lecturers who are capable of speaking English. So English program is not a problem anymore. But actually, just to rewind that back, we had a successful business institute at Chulalongkorn, and now it's been credited by ACSSB and other things. It started since 1980s. But by then, we don't have a lecturer who can speak English that well. So what we did was that we got a cooperation between Wharton School of Business and Kellogg School of Business, joining hands together with Chulalongkorn University to set up a business school. That's one of the model has been very successful, and it's actually growing very fast and becoming the most successful international college right now in Chulalongkorn University. But I will leave that because that's not the model that we all can apply, so to speak. But we could. But for the university to become internationalized, or actually have an international programs, you need to train your staff well. I mean, they need to have international experience, international exposure to come back and to teach in the international program. So right now, Chula, so that's what's its short name, consists of 19 faculties, graduate schools, 3 colleges, and 10 institutes. Now, these are the numbers. It may be a little bit small, but just to give you an overview, so what we have achieved in terms of the international status. The number of programs in Chulalongkorn is almost 500 now. This is a little bit late. It's 421, it said here. But this is the latest one. International program we have is 85. 85 international programs. That requires a lot of English-speaking lecturers. 13 undergraduate programs and 72 postgraduate programs. It's easier to do postgraduate programs. Academic staff, we have 3,124, while we only have 205 international staff. If you actually divide it by that, you know, obviously we don't. Average is less than 1, right? Average is a little bit more than 2 per program, more than 2 per program. Now, the undergraduate, total we have 20,000 something. Graduate we have 12,000, total number 33,000 in the whole campus. But the number of international students, we only have 429. Okay, so that's roughly a little bit more than 1%. Very small number. But it's very difficult for us to increase to any bigger number. It's very difficult. One of the things is that we don't have place. And the second thing is that, you know, what course will international students come and learn in the university? That is a question too. Okay, so in fact, if we go down to see the number, within that 429, the ordinary Thai program, we attract 68 international students. The English program, international program, only 243. And then we get a little bit more from the inbound exchange in a couple of terms and so on. But I see that inbound exchange is actually a good starting point to get people know your university and actually to participate in the class before actually fully committed into the whole program. So it seems that this number should increase in the future. The ideas of this is that we like to produce a global citizen. I talked about this last time. To become global citizen, meaning, well, actually this is attribute of the graduate of the university. We have 9, you know, all the things that required. I'm sure that everyone's thought about this already. But we are having something different. It's the Thainess and the moral wellness and public and social responsibility and so on. But the key is that global citizen, meaning, I don't want to go through all this. This picture, you don't just know your local, but you have to know the other people as well and the neighboring countries and so on. So this is the reason why we justify to our University Council, say that we need more international participants, we need more international students, we need more international staff. So out of this, we have a targeted so to speak, to accommodate 1,000 international students in the next 3 years, and then accommodate about 500 international staff in the next 3 years as well. So it's 1,000 and 500. It's still not a big number, but I think the number will be sufficient to supply to that 84 international program that we have. Okay, so the international program objective, when it started initially, it started off by actually to have all courses teach in English. Then also to accommodate the demands of the secondary school. Now in Thailand we have secondary schools that are international. The students are already speaking English in the schools. We have the expat living in Thailand, and they put the kids through the education there in Thailand. So there's a need, instead of actually having some international university coming into Thailand and then open up an international programs. So the Thai university is starting to react and having more international programs. Also, we see that it's actually to widen the international academic cooperation. That's actually the first idea. And actually doing that is to actually satisfy the mobility objective, to provide opportunities to students to learn about the other cultures, using sources of expertise to expand student knowledge. Also from bridges for future research, academics, and business cooperation. That's everyone, I think, see the same thing. Now come to the second phase, because there's a lot of challenges. We also see that the international program being a platform for exchanging students worldwide. Okay, and now we start looking at programs which actually commit, to exchange the whole class with other university or the partner university. Also being a platform for employing international lecturers. Now to become world-class, the research work, the citation, the paper publications are all very important. So why would really good international academics would come to university? So they have to teach as well, they have to do research as well. So, international program is actually an attractive things for them for us to have. Also getting international recognition. Okay, there's a saying, if you able to train outside people when they go out, they bring what they learn with them. Okay, so these are the keys for the international programs. And as you see, is it successful? The thing that we've done, you see that majority of it, as expected, is actually in the international programs. 76% of the international student at Chulalongkorn in. But this is what they like to, 22%. 1/4 is actually in the Thai program because they want to learn in Thai. But mind you, in that 22%, majority of them are neighboring countries to Thailand. A lot of them are Vietnam, Indonesia, Laos, Burma, and so on. But we get a lot of China. Okay? So the English programs, international programs, so we have these Thai programs. The blue line are the Thai programs. Okay? And then you can see the profile of the undergraduate. Majority of them go to the master degree program. Okay, and then some in the undergraduate, but not in the doctoral. Very small right now. Okay, so the current mobility problem in Asia, that is because of the low number of exchange students. This is a university perspective. More outbound than inbound, and difficulty to match the relevant programs to the students. And the student perspective is that, why do you want to go abroad? Because no incentive. They have to extend the time, okay, and also diverse culture and quality of education, standard of living are different. So that deters them to actually to go abroad. So these are the summary of the challenges that I listed out. So what do we need to do? We need to standardization of the credit transfer to help everyone to get the mobility going. Create a double, dual, joint degree. This is going to be very difficult. We tried this for looking at this for 2 or 3 years now. Quality assurance of the program offered. Increased number of international programs that are taught in English. That's why we're here. We're talking about this now. Improve quality of living. That's also a key, important. Student wants to go somewhere. You got to have a really good place for them to live. Otherwise, it wouldn't attract them. Even your university is so great. The place to live is very bad. No facility, no resources. They won't go. Management of scholarships. There's a lot of scholarship. There's more than enough. But do we have all these ingredients to attract them to actually go abroad? That's another thing. Okay, these are the format of the programs, which I won't go through, but you've got to get the definition right. When you talk about double degree, joint degree, dual degree, what does it mean? It's all different from country to country, from university to university. You've got to get this right first, to get the benefit for the student. So what we do, we improve the facilities, we provide them libraries, and this is what happened in the next 2 or 3 years' time. That's why we said we want to accommodate 1,000 students. We have put up a new accommodation for the students to cater for 800 international students. It's going to be finished in 2 years' time. Also, 500 room for staff. We just have to put this up, because right now we cannot take any more international students because we don't have place for them to stay. Now, if we do have a place for them to stay, then we can confidently say, okay, please come and study. And the next thing we have to look at is, to get more international lecturers in our system. Now, these are the facilities. So in the conclusion, so what I say is that international programs can help promote student mobility. It needs to have, if you want some other people to come. Program must seek to widen cooperation with suitable partners. Suitable is very difficult to find. You've got to have common interests, something complementary. Program should include opportunity for internship or credit transfer to promote mobility. Maybe you start off a little, by internship, exchange, and then you're starting, people to know is word of mouth, and then more students come in for the longer program. Identify student interest is a priority. You have to look at the student interest. You cannot set a program where they're not interested. They won't come all the way across the sea or the ocean to come actually study, or go away to study. Seek and provide publicize scholarship to promote the mobility. Obviously, this is obvious. Exploring possibility of awarding different and complementary degree types. And university resources must be sufficient and attractive to the students. That's why the US, England, and other places attract more of our students to go abroad, because they're ready. They have all these ingredients. But if we want to be the same as them, we got to have all the same here too. So I think this needs to be put forward to the student. You have to convince them to get the mobility going. And as far as the international program at Chulalongkorn, it's a big challenge. We have 84 programs. We have to get them up to speed and increase the demand from the students. Thank you very much. I think time's up. Thank you.